Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and in this video, I'm going to do a review of the West Cork Barrel Proof Irish Whiskey. So this is a special limited release, but it's widely distributed in large chain wine and whiskey shops. But before I get into this, I want to tell you a little bit about the distillery and this whiskey. West Cork Distillers is located on the south tip of Ireland. It was founded in 2004 by three childhood friends, John O'Connell, Ger McGarthy, and Dennis McGarthy. Originally, they operated out of a room at the back of Dennis's house in Union Hall with two small stills they bought from a schnapps producer in Switzerland. In 2014, they moved to a new distillery in Skibbereen, where they currently operate out of a 12.5 acre site on Marsh Road. The distillery has 8 pot stills and 2 column stills with a distillation capacity of 4.5 million liters of pure alcohol per year to produce whiskey. In addition, they have 3 other stills for producing gin. The distillery hosts 5 bottling lines that operate 24 hours a day, 6 days per week, bottling 2,000 bottles per hour. For aging, the distillery also has 7 warehouses in Skibbereen, which can store up to 55,000 casks. To accomplish this task, the distillery employs 80 people, most of whom live in West Cork. West Cork Barrel Proof Irish Whiskey is made from 62% grain whiskey, 33% single malt whiskey. It is aged in first fill bourbon barrels and used bourbon barrels. It is non-chill filtered. It is a non-aged statement, but at least 3 years old. Bottled at 62% alcohol by volume. And sells for about $45 in my neighborhood. So visually, the whiskey is golden in color. No indication that it has any added coloring. On the nose, it has an intense aroma of sort of a vanilla cream or a vanilla cream pie, a little bit of orange, a little bit of baking spices, so some cinnamon, some cardamom, a little bit of nutmeg. But mostly what I get is a lot of citrus, a lot of vanilla, and just a hint of orange. On the palate, wow. Whiskey is powerful on the palate. It delivers a lot of flavor. Very sweet up front, in the middle, and into the finish. So it doesn't change very much in terms of the sweetness through the development. What you get up front is pretty much what you get on the finish. So it doesn't have a lot of change in the range of flavors either, nor are there a lot of different flavors to it. You pretty much get some citrus, some lemon, maybe some lemon cream pie, a little bit of orange, maybe a little bit of orange blossom, so you get sort of more of an orange floral note there. You get the baking spices there, nutmeg, cinnamon, a little bit of cardamom, very intense vanilla flavor there. And on ice, the vanilla really pops all the more. At a high proof whiskey, it does really well on ice. So you're not going to lose anything if you want to cool it down. So it doesn't necessarily have a lot of breadth, a lot of depth, but it is very powerful and very intense in what it does deliver. So I think this would probably be sort of humdrum, ordinary whiskey, not really distinct from any other whiskey if it was at a lower proof. But being at this proof and the fact that you can play around with it a lot, add a little bit of water if you want to take it down, or put it on ice if you want a chilled, refreshing drink. This is actually really a really good summertime whiskey because you can get a lot of those sort of lemonade and, lemon and orange citrus character, which sort of comes across very refreshing. It's almost as if it has a little bit of acidity, like a lemon juice or orange juice as well. It has a nice sweetness to it. So there's not a lot of range to it, but what it has, it delivers a lot of intensity. So a little bit of this also goes a real long way. So this is almost like a bottle and a half in a bottle if you take it down in the ABV with a little bit of water. So what I'm going to give it in terms of a score you know, it doesn't have a lot of complexity, it doesn't have a lot of range of flavor, it doesn't have a lot of development, so it's sort of lacking on that spectrum. But what it does have is a lot of intensity, and I think it's got a good quality price ratio. I like what it has, but it doesn't have a lot of different characteristics to it. So it does seem a little youthful, and yet you're not getting those typical sort of new makey green notes that you get from a real young whiskey. So at the price point, I really like it. If it was more, I wouldn't recommend it. Or if it was at a lower ABV, so that what it does deliver was just sort of basically coming across, it wasn't coming across with this intensity, probably wouldn't that be that big favorite either. But as it is, I'm going to give it a solid 89 points. If it had a more range, a greater range of flavors, if it had more depth, if it had more complexity to it, I would go above 89. It would get us into the 90s. And for the price point, I think it's a really nice whiskey. Alrighty, if you like watching my videos, but you've not subscribed, and I suggest you subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when I go live. And if you're one of my Patreons, I want to thank you very much for supporting this channel. And until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.